Back, everybody, to Interview in Sports, and the college football playoffs, honestly, did not go how I expected. Well, some did, like the Alabama-Notre Dame game. And then the Ohio State-Clemson game did not go how I expected at all. We'll get to that. But let's start off with the one where I went right, and that's where Alabama beat Notre Dame 31-14. I said I'd take Bama by 30. Well, close enough, am I right? But, not much to really talk about with this game. Mac Jones did good. Devontae Smith did good. Najee Harris did good. Najee Harris had a great game. I mean, capitalized off one of the best hurdles I've seen. Almost goes for a touchdown, but pushed out around the 10. Yeah, this game went exactly how I expected. Even the defense for Alabama played good. But then again, it's Notre Dame. They do not show up in the bowl games, the big games, or even the championship games. And with this current college football playoff format, they will not be making any championship games anytime soon because they just don't show up. This game went how I expected. But I think the game that most people didn't expect this to go that way was the Clemson-Ohio State game. And Ohio State ended up winning 49-28, blowing out Clemson. This game was close in the first quarter. But then once this Clemson punt, everything changed. Everything changed. The momentum shifted all the way to Ohio State, and they could never get it back. And you know what? Justin Fields, I even thought got hurt on one play, but he didn't. So, what happened? Well, this game is not Trevor Lawrence's fault. Trevor Lawrence with 33-48, 2 touchdowns, and an interception. But this game is not Trevor Lawrence's fault whatsoever. His defense could not get off the field whatsoever. They let Trey Sermon run all over him. 31 carries, 193 yards, and a touchdown. The pass defense was even worse. Justin Fields throwing 6 touchdown passes and an interception and over 350 yards with maybe even a broken rib or 2. Insane. Incredible playing by Justin Fields. But yeah, this is not Trevor Lawrence's fault. His defense sucked throughout the entire game. He had no run game. His leading rusher was Travis Etienne with 32 yards, and the team total had 44 yards. So basically, you're checking Trevor Lawrence out there against a defense who can't get off the field, no run game, trying to go beat a very good Ohio State team. Who, 11th ranked team, but everybody was down them because of games played. If they played a normal amount of games, they would have done the same thing. They would have been in the conversation with Alabama and Clemson. Well, they are in the conversation with Alabama and Clemson because they just beat down the Clemson Tigers with Trevor Lawrence last game in a Clemson uniform. Not the way I think he wanted to end it. But look, when you have a defense who cannot stop anybody, you're getting outgained on time of possession because you can't move the ball down the field yourselves because the Ohio State defense is stopping you. Mixed with this bad defense, it's not good, okay? Once that momentum shifted and Clemson couldn't move the ball for those 2 drives and Ohio State scored, the game was over. The game was over. Me and my dad knew it, too. We said ball game right when they did that because Trevor Lawrence, could he do enough? Yes. Maybe. But the way that game was going, no. There was no way Trevor Lawrence could do enough to stop him. But with this game, there's been a lot of talk about Justin Fields going number 1 overall. And if you think Justin Fields is going to go number 1 overall over Trevor Lawrence, you are out of your mind. Because Trevor Lawrence, as a freshman, a true freshman quarterback, came in to the national championship, slaughtered a Nick Saban defense, one of the greatest coaches in college football history. Just absolutely slaughtered their defense, beating them 44-16. And yeah, Trevor Lawrence has been maybe the greatest prospect ever, especially since Andrew Luck. Remember the talks about him and how he was going to be good? Well, Trevor Lawrence is getting talked just like that, and every right. So, Trevor Lawrence has pretty much done everything in college football except win the Heisman. Shame he never did. But he should have. He really should have one of those years. Shame he never did. He's still going number 1 overall. I like Justin Fields, okay? Justin Fields, number 2 quarterback in the class. There is no way that, unless it's momentum, unless he's going to ride the momentum, but Trevor Lawrence is going to be the best quarterback in this draft class. Justin Fields is going to go to the Jets maybe, or maybe even fall down the board a little bit. Trevor Lawrence is still the best quarterback in this draft class. Yeah, Justin Fields would not be taking over his number 1 spot. There's no way. You watch the games, You watch it all. Trevor Lawrence has played better for longer. And Trevor Lawrence is better than Justin Fields. There. I said it. Speaking of Heismans, look who won the Heisman. The first receiver since Desmond Howard in 1990. It took till 2020 to 2021. Devontae Smith is the Heisman. He's made Mac Jones look like a very good quarterback. Look at this clip where Devontae Smith was not at his full. I mean, look at this throw. He throws that behind him. That is not even close to where Najee Harris should be. And then they just let Auburn return it all. This is what I was saying. This is why I was worried about Alabama coming into the season. This is what Mac Jones I thought would look like. But luckily, he got Devontae Smith. And now, look at his throws now when Devontae Smith is playing at a Heisman level.
Up here for Alabama, play action. Mac Jones wants it all. Long ball, man there, got him. Mechie, touchdown.
I know that ball was thrown to John Mechie, but you had Jalen Waddle on the field at the time, Devontae Smith on the field at the time, so it's going to leave the third corner on the third receiver. And Alabama's third receivers are number one receivers on most teams. Now, Devontae Smith's numbers for being the Heisman: 105 receptions, 1,641 yards, and 20 touchdown receptions. He was the clear favorite for Heisman because he should have been. Mac Jones was a product of the weapons. And yeah, there's the argument someone had to throw him the ball. Well, when you're open 20 yards behind the defense, yes, somebody's going to throw you the ball. Trevor Lawrence could have made an argument for, Najee Harris, Justin Fields, all these guys could have made an argument for. It was Devontae Smith. He was the clear Heisman. Now, stage is set. Do I pick the Ohio State Buckeyes or do I pick the Alabama Crimson Tide? Here's what it's come down to. Jalen Waddle is looking to be cleared. So that gives Mac Jones another weapon. You already saw how dangerous Devontae Smith can be. Now Jalen Waddle back. But how good will he be? Trey Sermon will run all over this Alabama defense. And Alabama's defense historically has not done good against mobile quarterbacks. Look at Deshaun Watson and how our defense did against him. Cam Newton, look how we did against him. And Bo Nix last year, when he was running effectively, we could not stop him. So yeah, all the time, Alabama's defense has struggled with mobile quarterbacks. So now, all right, let's look at it this way. Quarterbacks, Justin Fields, Mac Jones. I'd take Justin Fields. But Mac Jones has much better weapons on the field. Chris Olave, sure, but Devontae Smith, Jalen Waddle, John Mechie. So, now, which defense do I think will come to play? Well, Ohio State's defense proven they can against Clemson's weapons, and Trevor Lawrence receivers aren't nearly as good. No offense to the Clemson receivers, but they are not nearly as good as the Alabama receivers have been this year. So, I think I'm going to take the Alabama Crimson Tide for this reason. I think with Jalen Waddle coming back, that will be way too many weapons to handle for the Ohio State defense. Sure, we don't know. But if Mac Jones can take this next step in his development and prove he is a great college football quarterback. Right now he's a good one, but can he be a great one and lead Alabama to another championship? And look, we saw that Clemson usually had a great run game. You get up on them and you force Trevor Lawrence to throw these balls and you just let Trevor Lawrence sit on the sideline. That's how you beat them. Can you beat Alabama this way? And can Alabama's defense force the turnovers? We shall see. But I am going to pick the Alabama Crimson Tide to win the national championship. I just think it's going to be too much for the Ohio State defense. But hey, Ohio State proved me wrong once this year, and there's a very good chance they could do so again. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Let me know who you think is going to win. Who do you think should have won Heisman? Was anybody snubbed? Does Devontae Smith deserve it? Anyways, make sure to like and subscribe, and of course, thank you for listening.